Welcome to a special episode of Cinco Squad where we have Vance Lederman. Vance has been with the Syracuse Crunch for 30 years. Syracuse Crunch are the AHL affiliate of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Vance has held the positions of General Manager, Senior VP of Business Operations, and Chief Financial Officer. Vance was also awarded with the James C. Hendy Award, awarded to the most outstanding executive in the American Hockey League. My family has known Vance my entire life, and I'm very fortunate and honored to have him on here today. Vance, welcome to the show.
Good. Well, listen, thanks for the intro. That was kind of touching. I got to tell you, it really was. I've known your dad for quite a while. I've known you for quite a while. You interned for us.
Yes.
Yeah. So far, the season's been going fairly well. I mean, we've had a lot of movement over the last month. Tampa's had a bunch of injuries, a bunch of call-ups, and we've still been able to, we're in second place. We've still been able to kind of keep it together. We're getting, better goaltending, and you can see the younger guys just maturing and kind of trying to figure it out. I mean, we always say it takes about 40 games for, guys, first, who do the AHL for the first year. It's about 40, approximately 40 games to kind of, see the speed and kind of, understand the intensity of the American Hockey League,
Yeah, exactly. And when I interned, I noticed that a lot. There was a lot of movement. I always say, I saw Andre's last game in Syracuse. It was my first day at interning. Andre Vasilevsky, his last game in Syracuse was my first day interning. So I always thought that was pretty cool. I always sit on that pride. I mean, it's awesome to see what the Syracuse Crunch have been for the Syracuse community. I always say it's always Syracuse basketball and Syracuse Crunch, right there. So, what you guys have done there is just absolutely amazing over 30 years, right? 30 years with
Correct.
the Crunch?
Yeah, this is our 30th season, and, it's been a great ride. The community has been extremely supportive, and, I've made a ton of lifelong friends now, not only, sponsors and, ticket holders. I mean, they're really lifelong friends, and the community has embraced us, and, we feel that, it's important to give back to the community, and I think we kind of do that. I mean, we donated a bunch of money and, donations and baskets, and because we deeply care about the community. And, we're not ones to just say, lip service. We just do it, because we think it's the right thing to do,
Exactly. And I've seen that my whole entire life growing up in Syracuse, playing at the War Memorial, and just seeing the outreach that you guys give is absolutely incredible. I think Mike has a question for you.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
Of the many, there's a lot of things I would like to ask you, but I guess kind of branching off of that, how the community has embraced you, and you've become an integral part of the community. For those that maybe have never been there or have only heard about it through the school or through the Crunch, what kind of can you tell people about Syracuse and the community, and kind of how that's intermixed with what you've been able to do with the Crunch?
Well, our philosophy is, the community is supporting us. We need to obviously give back and, support the community. We have a host of programs. I mean, especially this year, we've come out with a mental health initiative. We have 3 or 4 sponsors, and it's to really raise awareness about mental health. And it's a season-long program, and we're very big on causes. We'll do a host of different causes, and basically we feel it's our obligation in a certain way to give back to the community that supports you. There's no question, And so we have a host of, our players are very accessible. Our front office is very accessible. I like that feel. We feel that we kind of equate ourselves with the Green Bay Packers in certain ways. Yes, we're not community owned. I get that. But the community, you get the sense the community feels they kind of own this team. And I think that's a really good feel. And 30 years later, I think our brand is as strong as it's been in, as strong as it's been. I mean, it's, after 3 or 4, very challenging years due to COVID, we've kind of bounced back and it's been a long road, and I think we're falling on the road upward.
Yeah, 100%. I see that a lot with anytime I get with my dad, he's always just like, "Did you hear about the Crunch to this, the Crunch to that, like Calder Cup?" But I think they're gonna win it this year, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe. I don't know." I mean, not if Tampa doesn't steal them away from them.
I don't talk like that. You never mention the P word. Surely not in January.
No, not in January. It's too
no.
long of a season. Too long of a season.
Yeah, for sure.
Grandpa Jay?
Vance, I got a two-part question for you. Number one, I actually live down here in Tampa, so thank you for all the talent you're sending down here. But with John Cooper's mentality as a coach and manager to really embrace this next man up sort of thing, is that something that you guys understand, where you take that on within your organization to say, it creates better incentive for the players? And talking about incentive, I mean, these guys are leaving cold country and coming down here to Tampa, Florida. It's like, hey guys, get out of here. You're going to be in Tampa, Florida in the sunshine. I mean, you guys have a lot of good things working for you in that sense. Is the next man up thing, does it make it easier in the sense where these guys believe in themselves a little more and feel that chance is coming a little bit sooner?
100%. I mean, in this league, it's always next man up, because your lineup could change in hours, in minutes. And I think we've really, especially this season, with a ton of movement, I think we really have embraced that next man up mentality. I mean, we're you look at our lineup and guys are going up, and God bless them. I mean, the thing is, when our guys go up to Tampa, they're ready to play in the NHL. I mean, they're NHL ready, it seems. Everybody that's gone up is playing really well. And, you talk about the incentive, cold and warmth. There's also some, money involved too, right? So, I mean, you get up there, you're making a little bit more money than you are. The weather, yes. The money, yes.
It's double pitching.
It's been, we have a whole new coaching staff this season, 5 new coaches. The players, I get the sense the players really like each other. We do a bunch of team-related events, so we have so far this season more than we've done in recent past. And I think you can see the chemistry kind of building, confidence kind of building, and hopefully this could be a special year. And as the owner Howard Dolgan and I say, we just want the one before we go, and after that we figure we're playing with house money after that.
Nice.
And to hit on that point, when I was interning there, to you guys, there's one thing that I always respected about the Crunch is when I got there, they treated me like I was there the entire time. Everyone just felt like a huge family. So that resonates through to the players too, I would imagine, right?
100%. I mean, we're very welcoming. I mean,
100%.
Joining us as an employee or an intern, we know that you're going to work a ton of hours, and why make it an adversarial situation? I mean, very welcoming, and especially in our business, not only on the ice but off the ice, teamwork is huge. I mean, you got 20 people pulling in the same direction, it works. You got 19 of those 20, then it gets a little wonky after that,
Yeah.
So that's why we know that you're putting in a lot of time, and we appreciate the fact that you're there and helping us out, quite honestly.
Vance, were you a part down in Tampa when they were doing their cup runs? Did you get a chance to go down there at all, like throughout that whole time?
Well, we went. I think we went to one game, and then we were fortunate enough to be at Game 7.
Oh, nice!
When they won it, I forgot what year it was. I'm not sure. And we get a text in the third period. We're up in a box. We get a text in the third period from the GM's executive assistant, and said, if we happen to win, we're up 1-0 at a time. If we happen to win, you guys are invited to the post-game party.
Nice.
Oh,
so you can imagine post-game party. We're holding the Stanley Cup. We're taking pictures with the Stanley Cup. We're taking pictures with Russ Colton, who scored the winning goal,
Yeah.
you know, the 1-0 victory. You know, Kucherov is hugging me, and Chernak, and, you know, Brandon Point, and it was pretty cool, man. I got to tell you.
That's awesome.
For an old man, I felt like a little kid. I got to tell you.
Yeah. Did you drink out of the cup?
What's that?
Did you drink out of the cup?
I didn't drink out of the cup, but I did drink. Just so you know.
Now, Vance, speaking of being a little kid, John mentioned you grew up in Brooklyn. My swim coach, Ed Brennan, he's a Brooklynite, as well as Rich Rogers, who used to coach here with me at my swim team. He's a Brooklynite as well. So a lot of talent leaving Brooklyn and coming down to the Florida shores and contributing to sports and development down here. Were you a baseball kid growing up? Football, hockey? What was your thing as a kid, and what did you really love doing?
Early on, when I was a young kid, it was baseball.
Okay.
You know, I was a Yankee fan. I saw, hate to say it, I was, past tense, just so you know. The same. You know, I saw Mickey Mantle and all those guys, right? And then, you know, over the years, baseball's, you know, for me, is kind of getting a little drab. Took up hockey, really followed hockey probably in 71. And used to go to Ranger games, used to take the train. I lived in Brooklyn, used to go with buddies, used to take the train to MSG, scalp tickets from the same guy, this guy Lenny, I can still picture the dude, okay? Used to go to games. So we used to go to like 10, 11 games a year. The hockey became a real love for me, you know?
Of course.
And then down the road, football and basketball. I'm a huge Knick guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's ingrained. I don't know. I mean, all my buddies hate the NBA, but it's right here, you know. So I can't. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, now that they're fairly decent, it's pretty exciting, you know. So,
of course,
it's exciting right now. They're playing some great basketball right now. Everybody's pretty happy in the city.
They are. I mean, the thing is, like when the Knicks are playing well, they take over the city like no other team in the New York area. There's no question. People are talking about it. They're buzzing about it. I've been there back in the 70s. I've been there. It was crazy, you know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But hockey, like I said, early 70s, and you know, to think I'm working in hockey years later, it was just still kind of freaks me out a bit. I got to tell you, it really does.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So, when becoming a hockey fan, what was it that you would say really drew you to the sport and to the Rangers? Because as a fellow Rangers fan, I'm genuinely interested in that.
Well, growing up in Brooklyn, I mean, you're a Rangers fan. There's no question. I mean, and it was just the fast pace. And let's face it, back then, you know, there's a bunch of fights, right? So that maybe drew me in. I mean, it's very physical. I mean, the Flyers and Dave Schultz, the Hammer, and craziness, you know. That probably drew me in a little bit. But over the years, that kind of gets old, in my opinion. You know,
Agreed.
Fight again every once in a while, blah, 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 people like that. But the hockey, you see the evolution of the game over the last 45, 50 years. It's just incredible. The speed, the condition, the talent level of these guys is pretty incredible. And above all, the commitment. They're all committed. They're all committed. They all, you know, hockey guys are like that. They're committed. They're very grounded. They know it could end tomorrow. And, you know, they love their parents, taking them to practices at 6 a.m. They always refer to their parents, taking them everywhere. Yep. And, you know, it's you know, they're very much on the ground, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I always say that, like, I get annoyed when people talk about hockey in the sense of, oh, I like it because of all the fights. I'm like, well, I mean, you and I both know that the fights very rarely happen anymore. It's more about skill, you know, finesse of the game. I mean, that's one thing that I noticed in the hockey, the evolution of it is kind of the fights are there, but they're not as frequent as they were maybe in the late 90s, late 80s. Like, they're not as frequent as that. And that's not all about the game. I mean, to see Nikita Kucherov do what he does on the ice, he makes it look like he's not even trying.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question. I mean, I think the sport has really embraced speed.
Mm-hmm.
So much speed and more goals and, loosening, changing some rules in order to create, more quality and goal opportunities. And the fighting, I don't think it's ever going to leave,
Right.
but it's still part of hockey as
Right.
in people's minds, but, certainly, to me, it gets old. I mean, the only thing I miss are the line brawls pregame.
Of course.
Like back in 07, 08, we had this team with Zenon Kanopka as the captain. And pregame, guys would square off pregame before anybody was on the ice. It was insane. Insane. That was, at the time, it was kind of fun. And you look back on it, like, it was entertaining. I get it, but, So yeah, I think the beauty of the game is how these guys are so well conditioned, and I think honestly, I think they're pretty good role models out there. I really do.
Sure.
When the society is devoid, it seems of role models, they certainly can I think can be nominated for that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
absolutely.
that's one thing that I always looked up to is how hockey players handle themselves every single time. Obviously, being one. One fun fact question, but what was like your welcome? Everyone says this welcome to the professional hockey league or professional sports moment. What was your professional sports moment when joining the Crunch?
In terms of the Crunch,
welcome to the league type thing, like in that aspect. I know
welcome
players
to the
have
American Hockey League.
Yeah, exactly, or even the professional.
All right, because I was, just so you know, I was at Game 7 when the Rangers won the Cup in '94.
Oh,
I was at that game.
Oh,
so
wow.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was kind of cool. It's kind of cool. And we had just did an affiliation deal with Vancouver. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. So now we're playing. The Rangers are playing Vancouver. We've been lifelong Ranger fans. We just signed a deal with Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, we did a deal with the AGM, who was George McPhee.
Mm-hmm.
He's now the president of the Vegas Knights.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I never forget. He said, "You better not freaking root for the Rangers." And we're like, George, really? I mean, come on, really?
You're starting my patience.
So my moment, it was just. So it took about a year for everything to kind of come together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because we bought a franchise from the league. So to buy a franchise, you need a lease deal with the building, you need an affiliation agreement with the NHL club. It took us about a year to get that done. So I think, we did a big press conference May of '94, and it still didn't sink in. Like, hockey team, yeah, all right, whatever. I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't really wrapping my arms around it, right? And then I'm like, we have 4 months to get our act together.
Yeah.
And we have people, including myself, who really kind of were clueless. Okay, I'm a business guy, I get it, but the hockey, every business is unique. Okay, so I was like, okay, so I think what really did it for me, the moment was opening night. September 30, 1994. We had like Riddick Bowe was there and Michael Buffer was there. And we had all these celebs, and I think it kind of wowed Syracuse, right?
Yeah.
Like Syracuse is when we first got there, very same. Things are going okay. Why change it?
Right.
But yeah, things could be better maybe if you do change them. Nah, it's okay. Don't worry. We used to always hear, well, it's Syracuse. We're like, okay, what does that mean, right? So I think when we came out with that, and we came out with we're entertainment, the hockey's kind of included in the price of the ticket. It really was that opening night was magical. And, to think that it was, 29, 30 years ago, and I can still vividly remember it, obviously it's certainly left an indelible mark on me, no question. And that's when I realized that I'm in the hockey business now, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool.
There you go.
That's awesome. Mike, you got another one?
Yeah, so one of the things I was kind of interested in, you mentioned a few times how you've been with this team since the inception, and it's been, 29, 30 years now. There's a lot of people that are with a job for, 29, 30 years. So in your experience, I know it's being part of a hockey team can be kind of unique with it, but in your experience, what is the best way to keep things fresh and keep things, fun while being in a position or being with one organization for so long?
Well, I mean, look, you're talking about our business is hockey. That's fun in itself, in my opinion.
Right.
But I think it's really, as I've gotten older, it's really your mental outlook. Okay. So I'm very much an optimist. I'm kind of the old sage, okay, in the office. Okay. So now instead of yelling and screaming like I did 10, 15 years ago, I'm like more of the calming person. You know what I mean? So I really embraced that role. And it's really kind of re-energized me, to tell you the truth, because I feel that I can offer, some stuff. I've been around for a while. And I realized too, like being around young people is kind of cool. Okay. I mean, I'm getting older and I like being around younger people as well. I think it keeps you mentally, it keeps you younger, no matter chronologically how old you are. And I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
And it's really been, since we came back from COVID, it took me a little while to kind of get my mojo back, to tell you the truth.
Makes sense.
But I'm more energized now than I've been in quite a while. And that's, I'm kind of at the tail end. I've been around for 30, full retirement age now. And, so it's been really cool. You love what you do, and listen, if you love what you do, and it's like everybody says it's not work, and like I work for a hockey team. How great is that? It's pretty cool. Okay.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly.
No doubt.
Definitely. Grandpa Jay, you got anything else?
Yeah, just one more, Vance. So having a close eye on the game for the past 30 years, people say that basketball has gotten soft. They don't play defense anymore. Football, they're protecting the quarterback so much. Defenders don't even know how to defend. What's been the biggest transition you've seen in the game of hockey in the last 30 years where you could say there's a significant difference I see in the game from the early 90s to this point now, moving into this phase of pro hockey?
Well, it's the speed. There's no question. The speed is just, these guys, they transition from O to D in like milliseconds. It's unbelievable. Like, if you look at clip from 30 years ago to now, it's the speed. And I think the league has done a really good job of marketing that speed, marketing their stars. They still got to get a little bit better. They don't have as good TV deals as the NFL, the NBA. But I think that they are, I forgot what I was saying now. So it's really, they try to create offense, more goals, because they feel that, as opposed to fights. Now, fans want to see goals. And listen, to me, and another thing that's been, to me, phenomenal is the overtime. Yeah. Like 3-on-3 is, to me, phenomenal hockey. It's just so exciting for the fans. And when the league first, approved shootouts, everybody was excited. Oh, it's great. The fans are going to love this. Then 5 years in, we're like, this kind of sucks. Yeah. I don't think we like it anymore. This is a team game, right?
Yeah.
And then it comes down to one-on-one to get that extra point. Yeah. It just didn't really. So when they won 3-3, obviously it's drastically reduced shootouts. And for the fans, it's just so much open ice. It's just really exciting. No question about it, So I think the league has changed the rules to do that. The speed has been the biggest difference. And also I see the commitment. Like 30 years ago, these guys were going out drinking after games, and these guys are going home, they're eating right, they're working out, because the difference between their number, their salary down here and up there is pretty significant. Yeah. So they're pretty good motivated to get back up there, or to really get there,
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, especially with, I mean, the best thing I see about Tampa right now is that they're utilizing those young guys. They're getting a little bit of the older guys out of there and allowing the adaptation of that. And I think that comes from Stevie Y adopting that. When he was the GM of the Lightning, he was adopting that type of method. Do you think so as well?
Yeah, I mean, no question. I mean, the thing is, like I said, when our guys go up there, they're ready to play. And think about it. What other affiliation in the American Hockey League has produced so many players that, I mean, the two cup teams, we had like 12, 13 guys.
Yep, that was actually what I was going to tell you. 15 guys on the 2020.
Right?
Yeah,
yep.
It was
That's
crazy.
Unheard of.
Yep.
Crazy.
I mean, not all the old guys. Give Stamkos his credit. He's the staple of this Lightning team right now. Stevie.
No,
Stevie Stamkos. Yeah. I mean, he's been the glue for this team for many years. So
he's just making a lot of money. He's going to have to take a salary reduction maybe to make a little bit. I think his deal is up soon, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure, but you think about it, he's a Hall of Famer for sure. Mm-hmm. Watching a Hall of Famer, there's no question,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. When looking at that roster, it was like crazy because, I tell people, I used to watch Tyler Johnson down there. I used to watch Paquette, Killorn. I used to see all these guys down in Syracuse, and it's kind of cool, like as a hometown kid, to see the guys and watch them in the War Memorial, in front of 5,000 or 6,000 people. Now at the Amalie Arena, in front of 20,000 people. It's just really cool to see that evolution of the player at the end of the day. So,
no question. I mean, we're proud of the fact that we think we do a fairly good job of preparing these guys.
100%.
Obviously the coaching staff, but we also kind of, as far as media stuff, had an interview and, we kind of teach them some of that stuff. So when you get up there, they're good interviews. I mean, things about hockey guys, the guys who score 5 goals and he'll give credit to his line mates. Yep. That's the way it works. Yep. That's just the way it works. Hey, if he didn't get me the puck, I wouldn't have scored. And that's just the way they are. They're very humble and they know that it's only one game and they're moving on. There's a lot of games.
100%.
There's a ton of games. So, it all matters, how you're playing, and certainly April that matters most, it seems. You got to get in there, and then you get hot, and who knows,
Right. Adopting that 0-0 mentality when you get in there. That's the method.
100%. You have to. There's no question. That's what it is. So that's the reality, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, Vance, I appreciate it. I don't want to hold you too long, but I appreciate you, as a person that allowed me to be an intern. And it's always been great to my family. I really do appreciate the Crunch, yourself, for all you've ever done, allowing my teams to come there and skate and everything. So I really do appreciate it. And I do appreciate you coming on the show tonight. Definitely, I got to get back up to Syracuse to see a game. And the squad needs to get up there and go see a game.
Why don't you get all you guys to come to a game? Yeah.
Vance, we do a segment called Stump the Squad. I would like to test your New York sports team knowledge here real quick. So I'm going to throw a question out at you. I'm going to give you some multiple choice answers. You tell me which one you think is right, okay? So we all know the Yankees are the team of New York. They've won 27 titles. Can you tell me how many the other franchises in the 4 major sports, basketball, baseball, hockey, and football, can you tell me all of the other franchises combined, how many championships have they won in their history? So I'm going to give you 4 choices. Is it 21, 25, 26, or 28?
So the 4 majors, so you're talking about b-ball, right?
So it's talking about basketball, football, hockey, and baseball. So
football.
New York has 27. How many do all the other franchises have? 21, 25.
You're talking about the Islanders as well?
Yeah, so any hockey, all the hockey teams, all the basketball teams, all the football teams.
You're not talking about the Devils, are you?
Yes, the Devils get an inclusion in there.
They're not a New York team.
They're literally the New Jersey Devils.
I'm not going to figure it out. It's too long to figure it out. So give me the multiple choices
21,
again.
25, 26, or 28.
I'm going to say 25.
Almost 26. And if the Devils didn't count, it would be 23.
That's crazy.
Oh, they have won
That's
three.
a crazy number, you know?
Yep.
That's really crazy. No,
They need one more to catch up with one of those teams needs one more to catch up with the Yankees by themselves.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, you know, like the Knicks only won 2.
Yeah.
I think.
That's right.
The Giants won 4.
Yeah.
That's 6. The Jets won 1. That's 7.
Uh-huh.
The Islanders won 4. That's
Yep.
11.
Mm-hmm.
The Devils won 3, maybe? I don't even know.
Devils won 3. Yep, that's right.
Rangers won 2.
14.
The Brooklyn Nets won 2.
As
The
a
Brooklyn Nets
Jersey.
have never won an NBA.
As a
They
different
Never won.
organization.
What's
In
that?
New
The
Jersey.
ABA. They won the ABA.
As a different organization in the ABA. Yep.
And just so you know,
Yep.
I dislike the Brooklyn Nets tremendously. Just
Do
so
you?
I do. Even though I grew up in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
I just don't like the vibe that was coming out, especially with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge KD fan, I must tell you.
No. It was a pretty big
It
field
was-
experiment
yeah,
there
but-
with those guys.
Yeah.
It was ugly, man.
Remember when they did the first time with Paul Pierce and they tried to get that whole squad and that failed the first time? It's like you didn't learn from the first time you did it. You tried again and it imploded on itself again.
Well, to be fair, Paul Pierce and KG were at the end of their career, like
Yeah.
a year away at the end.
Yeah.
KD and Kyrie were in the prime, but
Yeah.
I mean, the KD only played 12 games total in his 3 years there.
Yeah. And listen, Kyrie is a huge talent.
Yeah.
Is he worth it to be on your team? I don't know,
Mhm.
right? And I don't even. And maybe he's really good in the room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody really knows that, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the persona, the perception of him outside of it, he's kind of an asshole, right?
If any owner's going to take on big risk, right? It's going to be Mark Cuban. So
Well, he's not the owner anymore.
true.
Yeah.
He
So
gave that
No,
up.
he still retained some ownership, didn't he?
I thought
Basketball operations.
he runs the basketball operation, so I guess yes, he still runs that
But-
portion of it, but he doesn't own the team as a whole anymore.
Yeah, he sold his
Majority
stake
share.
in the team with the agreement that he could continue to run basketball operations.
And what was it? Was it $3 billion?
like
Something
3
like
or
that.
4, 3 or
Yeah.
4 billion only.
And he probably
Just,
paid about $300 million for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
It was a
Probably.
low price. It
He
was
boosted that franchise like enormously.
Yeah, I'm a big Mark Cuban guy. I like him a lot. I think he's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Pretty straight up, pretty blunt, and he's
Yeah.
pretty smart, right? So
Yeah.
Very smart guy. That's why he's
yeah, but listen, if you want, I really appreciate your kind words. That was really nice of you to say. And like I say, we always try to do the right thing. The community's been great to us. Giving back is real critical to our
Mhm.
mission.
Mhm.
And if you want me on again down the road,
Yeah,
I'm more than happy to join again
Absolutely.
for sure.
Love to have you on
100%.
again.
Absolutely.
Love to have you on again. Maybe during the hockey playoffs. I know that gets tense around Syracuse a lot of times. So maybe afterwards.
This is actually a good time to do it because I'm kind of chilling and
Yeah.
it works out well. And
Yep.
I'm kind of blocked out the outside noise right now.
There you go.
Gotcha. Absolutely. We'd love to have you back on, and we really
Awesome.
appreciate it. And go Crunch.
Go
All right,
Crunch.
thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
night.
Have a good night, all right?
You
do
too.
the same.
Me too.